All right, Phil, it's another top five. So, off the top of your head, what's the best poker advice you've ever been given?
I might be kind of slow in between these, but I like that one. All right, so the first one is definitely from Tommy Angelo, who's a mentor to me early in my career, mentor and a friend. He explained to me that let's say that you're playing 510 at the casino, and let's say you're a 20 big blind per 100 winner. You're playing, let's just call it 33 hands an hour to be a little bit, well, the math is not simple, but basically you're making, $67 an hour. You've been playing all day, you're down 5K, which, is not a ridiculous loss for those stakes, but an unfortunate day. You buy in for 2K, you lost two buy-ins and half of another buy-in. You're not really enjoying yourself there, and you feel like you should quit, but you don't want to. And you think, you know what, let's play one more hour. What Tommy said to me is, if you're in this scenario, you have to remember that poker as a whole, you're thinking about your hourly earn, your average earn. So you're down $5,000. Maybe you're right and you can play, fine. Maybe you're doing fine and the game's pretty good. Maybe you can keep earning that hourly. Let's give you that. You're down $5,000. Do you want to stay for another hour to make $67 back? And I really like that reminder, that framing, because so often when we're in the game, it is possible to win a huge pot and get halfway unstuck. But we're not playing poker to try to get lucky. We're playing poker to earn over the long period of time. We're actually trying to fade luck. We're trying to fight against luck. When you're saying to yourself, another hour, and then maybe after that, another hour, what you're actually doing is gambling. Because if you were to put in the perspective of, do I want to put myself through this, potentially risk continuing playing when I'm not playing very well, when I'm in a bad mood for $67, when I'm down 5K? No, you don't. That's not why you're doing it. And so when you frame it that way, you can make a lot better quitting decisions. This next one is not exactly advice. It's more of a warning, but it's something that really stuck with me. It's something I saw really early. I must have been 20, so almost 18 years ago. It's from a friend of mine now named Craig, who at that time was somebody that I looked up to. Never met in person, but looked up to on the internet. He played in games that I wanted to play in and posted on 2+2 forums, which is where I consumed a lot of knowledge and posted as well. Craig said, "You will eventually run worse than you ever thought possible." And this really stuck with me because essentially we all know that downswings can happen and bad runs can happen, but our natural expectation of what it could really look like. And not just if we sit here and I ask you directly, how bad do you think a downswing can get for you? We don't give it enough credit. We never really believe it's going to happen to us. Like, yes, it's possible to go on a downswing for 2 years with the win rate I have. But, it's not going to happen. But in reality, every time you play a new hand, you're kind of starting a new sample at which you can begin an extended downswing. It's not just like you're playing 1 year and your chances of that year being bad are X. It's actually you're beginning new samples from which you can experience a really improbable event, but you keep starting these so many times that eventually that improbable event happens. And I really liked the way that Craig framed this because it was kind of the only way to get it to land for a lot of people and for me at that point in my career. And it really prepared me for that to come true, which is, it absolutely is true. If you play for long enough, it's going to happen. The third one is from Tom Dwan, who I guess I was 22. I was living in a house over the summer with him and 9 other guys for WSOP. I was showing him a hand that I played, and I was asking if I should call or fold the river. And he thought for a little bit, and he said, I would raise. Essentially, at that point, I didn't view hands that, were decent bluff catchers to be good raising candidates. And what I realized through talking with him further was the way that Tom thought through the hand was, it was pretty clear that I had something given the way the hand had played out. I had called a couple of times in a spot where I basically couldn't have any draws left. I was out of position. I wasn't check calling with a queen high flush draw against big bets. And especially at the time, but even still, players didn't bluff that often when they had something. They bluffed a lot when they didn't have something. And so what Tom recognized in that situation is a lot of people overfold when it's clear that you have something and then you're raising, basically turning made hands into bluffs. And it kind of unlocked, a whole other part of the game tree in my mind for consideration when I played hands from then on. The fourth one is also from Tommy Angelo. I could probably do a top 5 Tommy Angelo advice video. Let's say that you go to the airport and you show up on time, you're waiting at your gate, and then you find out that your flight's delayed 30 minutes. Tommy doesn't get upset when that happens because getting delayed is one of the things that flights regularly do. It's just something that's supposed to happen a lot of the time. He kind of approaches life and poker in this way that you have to know what to expect. And if you're not going to be surprised by anything, then it's just one of the things that's supposed to happen and you don't need to let it bother you. I mean, a specific quote he would say is, if an asshole is being an asshole to me, I'm not surprised. That's what assholes do. Obviously, at the poker table, the way this translates is when you get it in with aces against ace 10 offsuit and you lose, that's something that's supposed to happen, whatever percentage of the time, a pretty small percentage of the time, but it's something that's supposed to happen. When you flop middle set and you get all your money in and you happen to be up against top set, that's one of the things that's supposed to happen. These are all things that happen. I don't think I ever became as zen as Tommy. I don't think many people are, but that approach still stuck with me. And I've kind of recognized that if I'm upset by something that's going to happen reasonably often, that's a failing on my part. So it's a lack of preparation, emotional and mental preparation on my part. So off the top of my head, I'm running out. I'm sure I could go look back at one of Tommy's books and list 10 more. But I guess for the fifth, I will go with advice that I gave. And I gave it technically to other people, but also to myself. I've already recorded a longer video about this, but so I'll be succinct here. Throughout hands, we so often are fearing a certain turn card or hoping our opponent checks or regretting an action we recently took. We have it stuck in our head. And all of these emotions, or not emotions, but all of these thoughts are not useful to us. Don't hope for a turn card. Don't fear an opponent's action. Don't spend time thinking about the play you just made. Every time the action is on you, it's an opportunity to make the right play. So don't worry about what's already happened or what's going to unfold, because when you get into that situation, whatever does unfold, your job is just to make the right decision in that situation. And that's going to be true no matter what turn card hits, no matter what your opponent does. It's just another turn for you to make the right play. I hope you found these as helpful as I did throughout my career. Let me know in the comments which spoke to you the most and which you found the most helpful. And if you're not already, click the subscribe button. I'm posting more content lately, including a lot of shorts where I review some pretty advanced strategy from my heads-up matches and perhaps other games in the future. So if you like this stuff, subscribe and you'll see it more often. If you don't want to, cool. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.